Very pleased on the Mike Schikman Show to have Jennifer Fitzpatrick back on our program. She's a generations expert, a speaker, best-selling author of Cruising Through Caregiving, Reducing the Stress of Caring for Your Loved One. We are in the middle of the dog days of summer, and boy, it's hot, and seniors remember how nice it was to be able to walk around and do everything you wanted during the summer, but as you get older, it gets tougher and tougher, doesn't it, Jennifer?
Yeah, it gets a little bit more difficult for all of us as we age in these extreme temperatures like this heat we've been having, especially that heat wave we had a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, for sure.
Well, we're entering another period of the 90s here in the Shenandoah Valley, so here we go again. Why are the elderly so susceptible to heat?
So for one, our skin is actually more sensitive to temperature as we go through the aging process. Also, for a lot of older adults, they're on certain medications that can make us a little bit more sensitive to extreme temperatures. And then also sometimes it's simply because you have a medical condition that is making you a little bit more sensitive. So all of that combined, but just simply getting older makes us more sensitive to these extreme temperatures.
Jennifer Fitzpatrick is an expert, tries to elaborate on some of the warning signs that seniors may exhibit during these months. She's been an advocate for senior community for years. She's been on our program before, and her book, Cruising for Caregiving, continues to be a lifeline for any caregiver looking for tips, and I've had to use her book for background information for myself, which shows you how important she is.
Thanks, Mike.
We're very pleased we have her here today. How does a senior know they may have overdone it?
So if dizziness, lightheadedness, a headache, vomiting, sometimes your skin is really moist and clammy, but other times your skin feels dry. We all know when something's not quite right with our bodies, but if you really have extreme heat stroke, you could even be faint or become unconscious or have a seizure. So if you start to, the best thing for any of us to do in these extreme temperatures is minimize being outdoors, be in the air conditioning, drink lots of fluids, and try not to overdo it. Don't go, playing with the grandkids in the excessive heat.
And you got to be smart about doing the things you have to do outdoors.
Right, sure. So listen, you got to run your errands. You got to, but don't mow your lawn or hire somebody to mow the lawn. Even the young people who do work outside, a lot of them try to minimize it and do it early in the morning or even in the evenings, just because the heat is tough on persons of every age group. But again, in particular with the older adults. So try to minimize the time you're out, especially between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And just dress. Make sure that you're dressed for the weather. Don't wear clothing that's appropriate in terms of keeping you cool. But also, if you're going to be out in this, keep your air conditioner on in your car. Drink water. If you're out shopping, maybe go into stores and take breaks in the air conditioning. But for a lot of us, and again, even young people, the best thing to do is just be indoors. You might not even want to be at a swimming pool or anything like that. It's really not refreshing when we're really involved in a true heat wave.
And that is important. How did you get interested in all this, Jennifer?
So I had really wonderful grandparents. I also worked in a nursing home when I was in high school. So I have been working with and on behalf of older adults for a really long time. And why I wrote Cruising Through Caregiving really stemmed from watching families really give up their whole lives because someone in the family was ill. And you need to dedicate time and energy and sometimes even money when you have somebody in your family that's ill, but you don't owe them your entire life. And so that's why I wrote Cruising Through Caregiving.
It's fascinating because we think that we're doing the best for our caregiving patients, and you just try to do your best. You can't really get totally wound up in it, or else you'll become suicidal yourself.
Oh, and every chapter in Cruising Through Caregiving is about how to reduce the stress. So, for example, like you, Mike, you're a working caregiver. If you have a job, how do you balance that? How do you make sure that you're able to keep your work if that's important to you? We also talk about the concept of looking at caregiving as a choice that you make. For one, caregiving is, a lot of people don't have caregivers. So if you are a caregiver, right there, you really need to give yourself credit, because think about all the people that you know that have opted out. And everybody who's a caregiver has a sibling or a cousin or somebody in their family and friend network who's not participating. So just taking on caregiving in and of itself, you're never going to do a perfect job, but just give yourself credit for at least stepping up to the plate.
Jennifer, where is your book available?
CruisingThroughCaregiving.com is free chapter, but Amazon, Barnes & Noble stores nationwide. Also, Cruising Through Caregiving is available in most libraries nationwide as well.
Congratulations on the new book, and
Thank
congratulations on your work. Again, I appreciate you being on our program, and join us again soon, won't you?
Thanks so much, Mike.